They're getting Hinch is giving them what they need, and like I said, we've talked about this before. It's a plug and play kind of a deal. So, Hinch is doing his best in that plug and play. Mm-hmm. But I think there comes a time where you're still going to need another bat, and I don't see them bring. I don't think there's anybody in AAA that they could bring up to fill that. So it makes you wonder how heavy they'll be. How actively heavy they'll be come trade deadline. I mean, and we're still talking like what? We're end of May now, so we're not even in the hot summer of June, July, and August.
It was supposed to be hot. It's May, the Memorial Day.
Right.
Shout out to Memorial Day, too. But listen, I think the Tigers think they can win with what they have. I would make a big bat move if I could. It has to make sense. I don't know.
I don't think mortgaging the future.
No.
Like getting rid of a Max Clark.
No.
They like I just don't think that would. That to me that makes sense.
They like this team.
And listen. Look how long it took the Trammell, Parrish, and Whitaker to kind of get rolling.
77 to.
Yeah. I just think trading away young pieces to get that bat. I mean, now if they could get that bat for a song, maybe like he's on his last year of a deal and it's not going to cost you much.
Right. A rental.
Yeah, a rental, maybe. But I mean, you really can't say, well, they really need something right now. Well, some people can say that. Some people won't.
Yeah.
You know, well, they're winning. They got the best, one of the best records in baseball.
They got the best, yeah. So, that's the thing. Do you ride that out, or do you, like I said, do you look inside the window, and you know where you're weak at? The Tigers are a team. That's what they are. They have each other's back. They're a team.
Right.
They get it. You never know who's going to get you.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
You know Judge is going to get you.
Right.
You don't know who's going to get you with these guys. So that's the beauty of their team. That's who they are. And it's the whole why is it? That's another thing too. Why are we blue collar?
Got some Nats in here today.
Yeah. Why is Detroit blue collar? They're the best. They have the best record in baseball. They're white collar. Why they just got to just grab the lunch? Why is blue collar?
But I'm going to be honest with you,
grab the lunch pail, go to work.
Why do you think though? Yeah, judges.
White collar people get work done.
But you look at a guy like Juan Soto that just signed a big time deal, and he's
not happy in New York.
He's not playing well at all.
He's not happy over there.
And then I was just thinking this the other day. I'm kind of glad we didn't sign Bregman. He's on the IL.
Well, he's not. Well, he didn't want to be here. His man was here, and he still didn't want to come. Hinch is his dude.
Right. So
that's a good deal.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't go.
Yeah.
I guess it's a coin toss because you never know. Look at how many times they failed when they went out and signed Zimmerman, and he was a complete bust.
Yeah, it's all a gamble.
Or even the latest with what's his name? The Japanese pitcher that they just Maeda. Kenta Maeda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like I like how Harris is kind of making do, not really making the huge decisions in regards to bringing in a huge bat or something, or a huge star player. But isn't it funny though when you look at it? All of the Detroit teams are kind of doing the same thing. The Lions, they'd rather have a team player than a superstar. The Pistons, everybody's saying, "Oh, they need to bring in this guy and that guy," but I think they need to just kind of sit with what they have, and see what they got. Give them another year to gel. I think you're going to find out where they are if they stay with what they have and not trade away these young pieces. That's what I don't want to see the Tigers do. I don't want to see the Pistons do the same thing just to get one guy. And you've had to trade away 2 or 3 of your young players that are playing good now. I mean, because you could have beat the Knicks.
Should have beat them.
Yeah.
Just mistakes.
So I mean, those could be, those are fixable. I think those guys can learn from what they've done.
But they look at it as just beating the Knicks was the first round. So they look for the.
But think about it. How long did it take the Pistons of the '80s to get through? Of course, you're talking about better teams. Yeah. But I mean, it took them a while to get through the Celtics. Mm-hmm. It took them a minute to get through the Lakers. Yep. So I mean, it's growing pains when you look at it.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think all of these Detroit teams are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
I think they all have smart general managers.
Well, to me, he's yet to. I got to see this. I think he knows what he's doing.
Who's that?
Harris.
Okay.
These are Avila's guys. Schoolboys, Avila's.
Yeah.
Torque, Carpenter. We said this. Torque, Carpenter, Mize. Those are all Avila's people.
Right.
Now, how he moves forward from here, is yet to be. I think the guy knows what he's doing. I'm just saying. Can you continue? The success, making the moves, making the right moves. I think he can because he comes from it. You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. But, yeah, the Tigers, you're right. All the teams seem to be in like that growing phase, but right on the cusp of getting over that hump. The Tigers can't win the World Series this year. They just can't.
You don't think so?
No, because if they do, that'll make Hinch the best manager ever to live. And that ain't true. That ain't so. If Hinch won the World Series this year with this team,
well, they would have to go to the World Series is one thing. I think they have a shot to go to the World Series, but to knock off the Dodgers, who I think the Dodgers,
they're making the best manager ever.
Yeah.
To live.
Yeah.
And that we know that's not true. Sparky. Boshi.
Yeah. I mean,
LaRussa.
But Hinch has won a World Series.
Yeah, Hinch is dope. I like him.
That was a young team that he had.
It was.
So
that's what I'm saying. It's possible.
Right.
He could get to. I don't think they'll win it, but he could definitely get there. He could get there. I don't think they'll get there either, though. I don't think they beat the Yankees if it comes down to them. And then another thing too. Let's look at, because this is kind of like the Lions. Baltimore, Red Sox, the Rangers beat them, Houston beat them, Texas beat, Angels, they beat the Angels, Colorado, White Sox. They won what they're supposed to win. But a lot of those teams that they won, those series were terrible teams. Then you get to Cleveland, So it's a lot of baseball left, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of baseball left.
You can't.
They knocked off San Diego.
Listen, the '84 team started off 35-5.
Right.
And Toronto kind of caught up with them there towards the end of the year. So I mean, it's
it's a lot.
Are the Tigers due for a losing streak? I would have thought that a few weeks ago.
I don't think so. I think what they can do is lose like that, like the Cleveland. Mm-hmm. They not no 5. I don't see them. No, not this year. Not no 5. Like maybe 2 or 3, and then they come right back and bounce back and get back.
And that's because of pitching.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I don't see them just these like any given time last year. They didn't lost 15 games. No. Pitching's too good. So no, I don't see that. Now their thing is losing series. Don't get on no losing series streak, and they haven't done that at all. They've done very well as far as winning like the series. Series, which is good. That's why they got the cushion they have now.
Did you see the groundskeeper guy?
No, I heard.
So I guess he got hurt on the field somehow. I don't know. And
it was last night, right?
It was last night.
Jeez.
And I don't know if I couldn't hear if fans were like chanting something at him, but I guess he took offense to something, and he basically flipped off the camera. So, I mean, it's made the headlines.
I heard on the radio. How did he get hurt?
I don't know. It looked like they had like the doctors and stuff like that out there to take. I don't know if it was his shoulder or what it was, but he didn't take too kindly of. But I mean, come
Ask
on.
Jared. Jared, do we have that? What happened? Jared, do you know? Can you help us out with
I
that?
don't know. Yeah, there it is, right here on the
Flips off camera after suffering mid-game injury.
Because they kind of paused the game a little bit, but to tend to him.
Did he get hit with a ball?
No,
Was it a
I don't
rake?
know. I don't know. Maybe he was. Maybe the rake was too heavy for him or something.
Had to be a younger guy.
He did seem a little younger.
Of course.
He did seem a little younger, but I just thought that was kind of funny.
You got to be on your. You got to be on your P's.
But
and
why?
Q's,
Why
your
flip
toes.
off the camera?
Yeah. What did the camera have to do? Why do we have to do anything?
Right. I mean, I'm sure he was embarrassed.
Yeah. Probably.
And then maybe he was getting heckled a little bit.
Could have been.
Because I don't.
He
I
probably
mean,
was
why? I mean, why would you just automatically just flip the camera off? And then you wonder, you hope it doesn't cost him his job,
Right.
Just because
Probably not, because he can say, I was out of my mind, I was hurt.
That's true.
Something like that.